Did Senator Clinton really want to be vice president? And did you want her to be vice president?
Not really, no. I mean, first of all, I had no...
Not really. She didn't. Not really. You
Not
didn't.
really. She didn't, and I had no real opinion. Not particularly. But she didn't. She wanted. She said that if he asked, I'll do it because it's my duty. But I think, look, she loves being a senator from New York. There is a woman who's a feminist and a liberal Democrat in the Washington D.C. area who is, I think, a psychologist who wrote an article the other day I read saying, I'm going to vote for Senator McCain because of Palin, because I think gender is the dominant factor in American life. I like both of them. I genuinely admire both of them. Yes. I think that we make a terrible mistake believing that we have to find something wrong with the people we can't vote for. I like it. And, you know, I like John McCain. If it hadn't been for John McCain, I'm not sure I could have normalized relations with Vietnam. I was an opponent of the Vietnam War. He spent 5.5 years in a prison camp. It was a lot easier for me when he said President Clinton's right. McCain, Barbara was telling me at the break, she reminded me that a long time ago, I told her that McCain would be the Republican nominee, and she said, why? And I said, because he's the only one that can win. Yeah. And because, and he is
the only Republican.
Yeah, the only Republican with a chance to win. And he will, and so no one can say you can't win. I mean, because the American people, for good and sufficient reasons, admire him. I mean, he's given something in life that's the rest of us can't match. And I think McCain's ready to be president. I think you got to decide which president you want.
Two questions on that. McCain saying, forget about the debate for now. Let's get the work of government done. Good move?
Well, I don't, I think only if they both agree. I mean, we know he didn't do it because he was afraid because Senator McCain wanted more debates. But I presume he did that in good faith since I know he wanted, I remember he asked for more debates to go all around the country. And so I don't think we ought to overly parse that. Just let's deal with this issue.
Were you surprised by the Palin bounce for the McCain campaign?
No, she's an instinctively effective candidate and with a compelling story. And I think it was exciting to some that she was a woman. It was exciting that she was from Alaska. It was exciting that she's sort of like the person she is. And she grew up came up in a political culture and a religious culture that is probably well to the right of the American center, but she didn't basically define herself in those terms. She basically said, look, this is where I'm from. I'm not going to impose this on you. This is what I want to do that I think we can all be a part of. So she handled herself very well. So I wasn't surprised. I think I get why she's done so well. She's a mistake to underestimate her.
Is he ready to be president?
You could argue that no one's ever ready to be president. I mean, I certainly learned a lot about the job in the first year. You could argue that now, even if you've been vice president for 8 years, that no one can ever be fully ready for the pressures of the office, and that everyone learns something and something different. You could argue that.
You think he's completely qualified to be president?
The Constitution sets qualifications for the president. And then the people decide who they think would be the better president.
Constitution lists qualifications.
What was he doing?
Do you think Barack Obama is qualified to be president? That's the answer.
Yeah.
And that's the answer that...
Is he ready to be president?
Yes.
Okay, that's the answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
The president should have handled that differently. There's no doubt about it. Barack Obama is ready to be president.
That was strange.
He's qualified to be president, and he will be president if voters in this country elect him. And I'm going to be one to vote for him.
Not if Bill Clinton has his way, Mika.
Yeah, I'm got a former president hedging on the Democratic nominee, a former Democratic president. I find that stunning.
The point is, we're still going to have real problems unless we do what Hillary and others have said, which is to have a moratorium on these home mortgage foreclosures and work these things out so these good, hard-working people who can make a mortgage payment get a chance to make a payment they can make. But Hillary has said for over a year now we ought to have a moratorium on these home mortgage foreclosures, and we need a government agency that does what they did in the Depression, which is figure out how to rewrite the terms of the mortgages so people can pay it.
Barack Obama and Joe Biden, who, by the way, I don't know if he was quoted out of context, but referred to our senator here in New York, your wife, you've met her, as maybe potentially a better choice for vice president than he was. How did that come about? What was he talking about?
He is a very fine man and a great public servant, and they just like each other. And he knows that, Hillary ran, got 18 million votes, and I think he was telling what he honestly believed. That basically, he thought she'd be great. He was selected. Let's make the best of this and win this election. That's what I think he was saying. I don't think that you should... he's a brutally frank guy, but I don't think he meant it in any kind of cute way.
Boy, is it me or he didn't want to say the name Barack Obama? He did not. He went through everything he could do. Well, like Hillary would want to do it to economy. Hillary ain't running.
Well,
Hillary's not running. What the hell?
Yeah, I understand. I'm leaving this
Somebody,
up to you.
one of those guys need to tell him.
All right. I'll make a call later.
I love Hillary, but, she lost.
Yeah. Now,
she lost.
He mentioned...
She got a lot of votes. She lost. She did. The Patriots got a lot of points, too.
Yeah.
But they lost to the Giants.
Yeah. I like this. What are we doing here? But now...
She lost. Stop it.
Yeah.
She lost. And she didn't. And it's not sexism the reason she lost. She lost to a black guy nobody heard of.
Well,
she didn't lose to the power. Ooh, the power got her.